Imagine this: a hardworking woman who's built her life in the UK pours her savings into what she thinks is her ticket to permanent stability, only to have it all ripped away in an instant because of a sneaky rule change she never saw coming. She loses over £3,000, her dreams shattered, and she's left scrambling in a nightmare of bureaucracy. And the worst part? This isn't some rare fluke. It's happening to people just like you right now, all because the government dropped the ball in the most infuriating way possible. If you're watching this and you're on the path to indefinite leave to remain in the UK, stop everything you're doing and listen up, because what I'm about to reveal could be the difference between securing your future or flushing thousands down the drain. Welcome to UK Visa Update, where we cut through the chaos of UK immigration rules to give you the real, unfiltered truth that saves you time, money, and heartbreak. I'm here to arm you with the knowledge the Home Office seems too busy to share properly. You need to hear this today, especially if you've been eyeing that ILR application. Picture yourself in her shoes. You've followed every step, checked the official sites, and still end up rejected. It's not fair, it's not right, but it's happening. And we're going to unpack it all so you don't become the next victim. Let me pull you right into the heart of this story. This woman, let's call her Anna for privacy, though her story is all too real, had been living in the UK for years on a skilled worker-dependent visa. Her partner had already nailed his ILR, celebrating that milestone with relief and joy. Now it was her turn. She was excited, methodical, the kind of person who dots every I and crosses every T. She dove into the research, starting where we all do, the gov.uk website, the supposed gold standard for immigration info. She navigated to the page on proving your knowledge of English for citizenship and settling. And there it was, clear as day. You can prove your knowledge of English by having an English qualification at B1, B2, C1, or C2 level. B1 was right there listed first, like it was the baseline option. She thought, great, I've got this. She booked a B1 test, shelled out the cash, studied hard, passed with flying colors. Then she compiled her application packet: passport, biometric residence permit, proof of cohabitation, life in the UK test pass, the works. She hit submit, paid the hefty $3,028 fee, and waited for the approval that would finally let her breathe easy. But instead of celebration, devastation hit like a freight train. The Home Office email landed: rejection. The reason? Her B1 certificate didn't cut it anymore. The rules had shifted on January 8th, 2026, demanding B2 for ILR applications from that date forward. She was stunned. How could this be? She'd followed the guidance to the letter. No warnings, no red flags. Just a flat-out no. And her money gone for good. Now she's facing the grind all over again, booking a new test, waiting for slots, paying more fees, and resubmitting everything while her life hangs in limbo. It's the kind of blow that doesn't just hurt your wallet, it shakes your faith in the system. And here's where the urgency kicks in. You need to grasp this now, because this isn't isolated. Hundreds, maybe thousands, are walking straight into the same trap. Think about it. Every day, people like you search English test for ILR UK on Google, and boom, they're funneled to that same gov.uk page. They see B1 prominently featured, feel reassured, and proceed without a second thought. But buried elsewhere in a separate document released on that fateful January 8th, the Home Office quietly upped the ante to B2. No fanfare, no site-wide alerts, just a stealthy change that's catching applicants off guard. Forums are lighting up with stories, immigration advisors are fielding panicked calls, and rejection letters are piling up. The scale is massive because UK immigration touches so many lives: skilled workers, families reuniting, dreamers building futures here. One misstep like this, and it's not just one person affected, it's families derailed, careers stalled, lives put on hold. If you're prepping your ILR right now or know someone who is, this video is your wake-up call. Don't let complacency cost you everything. Let's zoom in on the human side of this mess, because behind the rules and fees, there are real people suffering. Take Anna. She's not some faceless statistic. She's a professional, maybe in healthcare or tech, contributing to the UK economy every day. She's paid taxes, integrated into communities, maybe even volunteered or raised kids here. The rejection didn't just sting financially, it plunged her into anxiety. What if her visa expires in the meantime? What about her job security, her family's plans? She told me she couldn't sleep for days, replaying every decision, questioning if she'd missed something obvious. And the ripple effects? Her partner, already settled, now worries about her status. Friends in similar situations are second-guessing their own apps. This is the emotional toll, the stress that grinds you down, the uncertainty that poisons your daily life. I've heard from others, too. A father who delayed his ILR to care for ill parents back home, only to get hit with this. A young couple saving for a house now dipping into that fund to cover reapplication costs. It's heartbreaking, and it's preventable. If you're watching this and feeling that knot in your stomach, know you're not alone, but you can be the one who breaks the cycle. Now let's get technical, because understanding the nuts and bolts is how we fight back. The English language requirement for ILR has always been about proving you can thrive in the UK, communicating effectively in work, social settings, and beyond. Historically, B1 was the threshold, intermediate level where you handle everyday conversations, describe experiences, and deal with most situations. But on January 8, 2026, the Home Office decided that wasn't enough for permanent settlement. They bumped it to B2 Upper Intermediate, where you tackle complex texts, express nuanced opinions, and navigate professional debates fluently. Why the change? Officially, it's to ensure better integration, aligning with tougher standards across immigration routes. But critics say it's part of a broader push to make settlement harder, filtering out more applicants amid political pressures on migration numbers. The key doc is English language requirement levels for immigration applications, published that day. It spells out, for ILR apps post-January 8th, B2 is mandatory, no grandfathering for old tests. If you submit after that date, even with a pre-change B1, you're out. But the real kicker is the confusion sown by the government's own platforms. That main Prove Your Knowledge of English page on gov.uk, it's a relic, still touting B1 as viable without caveats. It's like they changed the lock but left the old key out for everyone to grab. Other routes complicate it further. Skilled worker visa extensions might still accept B1, but initial apps need B2. Family visas vary, A1 for entry, A2 for extensions, B1 for further leave. Without clear signposting, applicants mix it up, assuming one size fits all. And the tests themselves? They must be secure English language tests, SELTs, from approved providers like IELTS, Trinity College London, Pearson PTE, or LanguageCert. These aren't casual exams, they're rigorous, with speaking, listening, reading, and writing components. Fail to hit B2 and your cert is worthless for ILR. It's a system designed for precision, but executed with sloppiness that's costing lives dearly. What about the authorities' response? The Home Office's track record here is dismal. They've acknowledged the change in that niche document, but updating the frontline guidance? Crickets. It's been over a month, and the outdated info lingers, misleading the masses. When pressed by advisors or MPs, they deflect. Applicants must ensure they meet current requirements. No apologies, no refunds for those caught in the crossfire. It's classic bureaucracy. Rules change via statements of changes in immigration rules laid before Parliament, but communication to the public is an afterthought. Oversight bodies like the Independent Chief Inspector of Borders and Immigration have flagged similar issues before, criticizing poor website usability and unclear guidance. Yet here we are again. Politicians talk tough on immigration control, but fail to support those navigating it legitimately. If you're furious about this, you're right to be. It's oversight failure on a grand scale where human error is baked in by design flaws. So, how do you protect yourself? Let's walk through this step by step because knowledge is your shield. First, ditch the surface-level searches. Don't stop at the main gov.uk pages, dig deeper. Search specifically for English language requirement levels for immigration applications, January 2026, and pull up that official Home Office PDF. Read it cover to cover. It's dense, but it has the unvarnished truth. Highlight the ILR section B2 minimum, no exceptions, post January 8th. Second, match your test to your exact route. For ILR as a dependent, B2. Skilled worker main applicant first time. B2 extension, often B1, but confirm. Family, check the appendix, don't guess. Third, choose your provider wisely. IELTS is global with computer or paper options. Trinity offers integrated skills tests in person. Pearson PTE is tech-savvy with fast results. LanguageCert emphasizes flexibility. Book via their sites. Search for SELT centers near you, like in London, Manchester, or Birmingham. Costs hover $150 to $250, so budget accordingly. Fourth, prepare smartly. B2 isn't rocket science if you're immersed in English life. Grab free resources, IELTS practice apps, Trinity's YouTube mocks, Pearson's sample questions. Focus on vocabulary for debates, idioms in context, essay structures, practice speaking aloud. Record yourself debating topics like climate change or UK politics. If needed, join a short course. Platforms like British Council offer affordable online preps. Fifth, time it right. Certificates expire. Most SELTs valid 2 years, so ensure yours won't lapse during processing, which can take months. Submit fresh if close. Sixth, double-check everything before paying that $3,028. Use checklists from reputable sites like Free Movement or advisor forums. Scan for updates. Set Google alerts for UK ILR English changes. And seventh, build a buffer. Apply early if your visa allows, giving wiggle room for fixes. But what if things go wrong? Escalation options exist, though they're uphill battles. If rejected, you can't appeal on merits for ILR. It's administrative review only, checking for errors like misreading your cert. Costs $80, but success is rare if the rule's clear. Judicial review is next, arguing Home Office unreasonableness, like if guidance was misleadingly outdated. That's lawyer territory, $5,000 to plus in fees, high stakes. Complain to your MP. Template letters on sites like Citizens Advice can pressure for site fixes. Join advocacy groups like the Joint Council for the Welfare of Immigrants. Their campaigns highlight systemic flaws. Or go public. Anonymously share on Reddit's UK Visa or Twitter, building awareness. But prevention beats cure. Verify obsessively. Now, oversight concerns run deep here. Who's watching the watchers? The Home Office operates with little accountability, changing rules via secondary legislation that skips full debate. Parliament's Home Affairs Committee has called out website woes, but reforms lag. Data shows rejection rates spiking post-changes, yet no transparency on how many stem from poor comms. It's a power imbalance. Immigrants, often vulnerable, bear the brunt, while officials hide behind personal responsibility. We need mandates for real-time updates, user testing on gov.uk, and refund policies for guidance-induced errors. Until then, channels like this fill the gap, but it's no substitute for systemic fix. As we wrap this up, let me paint the bigger picture in a story that hits home. Imagine Anna, post-rejection, rallying back, booking that B2 test, acing it, resubmitting, and finally getting her ILR. It's a triumph born of resilience, but one she shouldn't have needed. You, watching now, have the power to skip that pain. Arm yourself with facts, question everything, and demand better. This isn't just about one rule. It's about a system that tests your mettle at every turn. But you're stronger than that. You've come this far through visas, adaptations, new beginnings. Don't let a glitchy website undo it. If you're inspired, hit like if this saved you from disaster. Subscribe to UK Visa Update for more lifesavers, notifications on because changes drop like bombs. Comment below, what's your ILR journey? Which test are you tackling? Share this far and wide. Save a friend, a colleague, a stranger. Together we navigate this maze. Until next time, where we'll dive into 2026's other ILR shakes-ups like extended timelines and reformed pathways, stay vigilant. Your future in the UK? It's worth fighting for. You've got this.